One girl.
Gone.
And suddenly, the group everyone thought was untouchable is falling apart. This isn't a rumor. This isn't clickbait. Manon Bannerman, one of the 6 members of KATSEYE, has reportedly been removed from the group. And the fallout? It's bigger than anyone expected. Because when the news dropped, some of the biggest names in music didn't stay silent. SZA, Normani, Leigh, Chloe Bailey. All of them showed up for Manon. And now the whole world is asking the same question. What actually happened inside KATSEYE? Let's go back to the beginning. KATSEYE wasn't just a group. It was an experiment. A dream. A project so ambitious that it had a Netflix documentary following the entire process. The concept was wild. Take girls from all over the world, put them through one of the most intense training systems on the planet, and build a global K-pop-inspired girl group under HYB, the same powerhouse behind BTS and New Jeans. This wasn't some small indie label throwing something together. This was the biggest machine in the music industry deciding to go global. And it worked. Sort of. The girls that made it through, Manon, Daniela, Lara, Megan, Sophia, and Yoonchai, were presented to the world as the finished product. 6 girls. 1 group. 1 shot at something historic. The documentary showed the tears, the training, the sacrifices. People fell in love with all of them. But they especially fell in love with Manon. Manon had something. You could feel it the moment she stepped on screen. There was a rawness to her, a presence that didn't feel manufactured. She wasn't just a trainee going through the motions. She was someone who genuinely, deeply wanted this. And fans saw that. They connected with her. She became one of the most talked about members before the group had even officially launched. So when the news broke that Manon was out, not leaving, not taking a break, but removed, people stopped scrolling.
Wait. What?
The report started circulating quietly at first. Then louder. Then it was everywhere. Manon had been let go by HYB and Geffen Records. No official detailed explanation. No long goodbye letter. Just gone. The kind of silence that says everything without saying anything at all. And here's where it gets interesting. Because when something like this happens in the industry, when a label makes a move this big, most artists stay quiet. They don't want to get involved. They don't want to step on toes. The music industry has a very particular kind of silence it expects from people who want to keep their careers intact. But that's not what happened here. SZA posted her support for Manon. Let that sink in for a second. SZA, one of the most respected artists in music right now, someone who has talked openly about her own battles with labels and creative control, she showed up. She didn't write a novel. She didn't call anyone out by name. But she made her position known. She stood with Manon. Then Normani. If you know Normani's story, and if you don't, you should, you know that she has been through her own version of this. Being in a massive group. Trying to step into her individual identity. Feeling like the industry wasn't fully backing her the way it should. Normani showing up for Manon wasn't random. It was personal. It was someone who has lived a version of that pain saying, I see you. Leigh from Little Mix. Another artist who knows exactly what it feels like to be in a group and wonder if you're being seen, if you're being valued, if your voice matters. Little Mix had their own internal storms over the years. Leigh standing up for Manon carried weight because she's been in a room that looked perfect from the outside while something was cracking on the inside. And then Chloe Bailey. One half of Chloe x Halle, a duo that navigated the transition from group to solo with grace and grit. Chloe knows what it means to carve out your identity in an industry that sometimes tries to put you in a box. Her support for Manon wasn't just kind. It was a statement. For major artists. For women who have all, in their own ways, experienced the weight of the music industry pressing down on them. All of them rallying around one girl who just got removed from the group she poured her heart into. That's not nothing. That's a message. Now here's the part that nobody's really talking about loudly enough. KATSEYE as a group has not confirmed anything about their future. There's been no official statement saying the group is over. But here's the reality. When a founding member gets removed before a group has fully hit its stride, when the fans are this upset, when the support for the removed member is this loud and this public, the ground shifts. It becomes very hard to move forward like nothing happened. The fans are grieving. Not just for Manon, but for what the group represented. Because KATSEYE wasn't supposed to be a typical group. It was supposed to be something new. Something that broke barriers. Something that showed the world that a Western-trained, globally diverse girl group could exist at the highest level. That dream is bruised right now. And Manon, she hasn't disappeared. She's still here. And if the support pouring in from artists of this caliber is any indication, her story isn't over. It's just changing chapters. There's something poetic and painful about this moment. A girl who gave everything to earn her spot. A system that decided for whatever reason that she no longer had one. And an industry watching, not sure whether to look away or lean in. The fans are not moving on quietly. They're making noise. They're streaming. They're tagging. They're demanding answers. And somewhere right now, Manon is watching all of it unfold. Seeing names like SZA and Normani in her corner. Feeling, maybe for the first time since the news broke, that she is not alone. Here's what I want you to sit with. The music industry is brutal. It always has been. It builds people up with one hand and takes it away with the other. But every now and then, a moment like this cuts through the noise. A moment where the community shows up. Where artists who could have stayed silent chose not to. Where fans who could have moved on stayed loud. This is one of those moments. Is KATSEYE